Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of the Diamond Heist and Clover update webpage. We are looking at the Luck of the Irish. Of course, we're going to take a full look at Clover's personality, the description, of course, what comes with the Clover DLC itself, and there is certainly quite a few different items with it, and I know lots of you will be screaming out, damn well better be. It's $4.99, and it was a very polarizing subject on the last video. Lots of you... I saw one particular comment suggesting that Overkill were milking us. Now, I didn't necessarily follow this, given that paid DLC is pretty sporadic on the whole. But I do have to admit, them dropping both of these together and not announcing previously, not making us aware that they were going to be paid DLC was, I don't know, maybe not the best decision. However, I hope that when you see what you're getting in this DLC, you'll be able to come to a full decision before we know exactly how good it is on release, as to whether you want to pick up the Clover DLC alongside the Diamond Heist. Anyway, meet Clover, born and raised on a housing estate in Northside Dublin. Hoxton, you have history with her. Why don't you tell the story? Before we get on to that, let's have a look at good old Clover. So, there's something very apparent about her appearance, and that's the rebellious streak, the literal streaks of purple in her hair, the nose ring, and when we get on to the nature of her mask, you'll see exactly what her idea of beauty and the public image is. So, my best Hoxton. She was just a day off the Holyhead ferry when I met her, already calling herself Clover. The little toe rag tried to pull the pigeon drop on me. Ha! Well, of course I picked up on that shit right away. But I saw something in her. This cocky bird had some balls, you know. So I thought rather than clip her wings, I'd help her fly. Taught her what I knew like. Proper Fagin to her. Anyway, long story short, we grifted across the UK, pulled a bunch of heists, and then the little shit ran out on me with a lorry load of Territorial Army L95s. Could have killed that little fucker. But then, you know, I thought she's gonna do alright. As she drove that lorry away, waving 2 fingers at me, I was proud of her, in a way. Good times. So, Hoxton has backstory with Clover. I don't think that's how she's ended up in the gang, though. I have a terrible feeling that it's the dentist that's planted her somehow. I've moved away more from my theory that she's a potential bad guy. I mean, she's clearly, we're all bad guys, but she may betray the group. More so, she doesn't quite belong yet, and what I would love to see is more dialogue between the two characters, potentially throughout a mission. That would be excellent. We already get things like a clear animosity between Houston and Hoxton. That kind of thing would be perfect for the release of Clover. So, with Clover joining the Payday gang, she brings a couple of trinkets with her that she just couldn't part with. She comes with her very own mask, rifle, and melee weapon. Click the headlines below to learn more. That actually doesn't mention that she also comes with a perk deck, as some of you correctly predicted. So, Clover's mask represents what Clover both fears and hates most of all. Wearing a mask as your normal face, the surgically shrunken nose, the Botox lips, and the expression of all-consuming vanity and self-obsession, all are symbols of fear and weakness, twisted into a horrifying parody. Clover grew up in a rough house in a rough part of town. Her ancestors were fighters in every generation, and she is fiercely dedicated to her Irish heritage. She wears the Clovers for luck, as well as to say, I'm Irish and I'm proud. What's really interesting about this mask is it gives some genuine backstory to her character. Not only mentioning her rough upbringing, which seems pretty consistent with the heisters from Payday, but also this mention that she hates the idea of wearing a mask. Why become a mask-wearing thief when you hate hiding your own identity? One other thing it maybe poses is the idea that all the heisters' masks are less of a show of vanity, but more of a secret side to them. You take, for example, Wolf's Demon, or Hoxton's burnt mask. There is definitely something to them more than just the aesthetics of them, and I think that's shown quite clearly by this description of Clover's mask, which I love to see. Now moving on to the rifle, Queen's Wrath. Clover and Hoxton hijacked a lorry delivering L95 assault rifles to a Territorial Army depot outside Aldershot, England. Clover drove off with the entire shipment, while leaving her mentor to fight his way out. Hox didn't really mind. He had taught her well. This rifle is the last one from that batch. It is powerful, robust, and easy to maintain. Clover sold the shipment to Libyan rebels, but kept the wrath, to remind herself of that last job and her first teacher. Interesting. All of her new equipment have little Clovers on them, which I really like to see, and I imagine this weapon will be usable by any heister once, of course, you have purchased it. It looks excellent. Really excited to try this out, and it may make, for some of you hardcore fans, this DLC worth it. Now we have the melee weapon, Clover's Shillelagh. It is hard to determine the true origins of the Shillelagh. How can you pinpoint the first time someone picked up a scout stick and brained someone else with it? And the Shillelagh really hasn't evolved too much beyond that. Some prize blackthorn wood, while some might fill the head with molten lead. Others might bind it with leather straps or cure it with animal fat. But at the end of the day, it really is just a bloody heavy stick that cracks skulls. I think we're looking at a moderate damage melee weapon with some high knockdown and more than likely a slow swing speed. But damn, does it look good! More Clovers, of course, embellished on the hilt. Now then, finally we have the perk deck. Clover is the burglar. Again, giving you a bit of insight into her personality. She was, of course, caught pickpocketing Hoxton. The natural dexterity of the burglar has benefits beyond merely breaking and entering. Being nimble allows the burglar to pick locks, bag bodies, and answer pages faster. They're also harder to hit in combat. They stay alive by staying out of the way. This physical conditioning also gives burglars a high tolerance to pain, and they are able to shrug off wounds quickly. What's most interesting is the ability to pick locks and bag bodies. These are skills you normally find in the ghost tree, so what I feel is potentially you're looking at a seeing as how her mentor is the fugitive, you might be looking at a fugitive burglar skill set that allows you to pick locks, bag bodies, and answer pages faster, working perfectly for stealth while still being very combat ready with some of Fugitive's best skills. Anyway, that is it for Clover. Do you like what you hear? I think there's quite a lot involved in this package, and $5 is certainly a price that I would pay for it, but each to their own. If you don't rate the assault rifle, you don't enjoy melee weapons, and the perk deck definitely doesn't sound up your alley, I'm not going to, at this early stage, recommend this character DLC to you. However, there's certainly a lot to be had in it, and I definitely like the idea of some of the new potential coming with the burglar carrying what seems to be skills from the ghost tree. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow. The update is of course out and I'll be covering everything from Clover to the new heist. So again, stay tuned. See you all in the next one.